Hey gang, how's everybody doing today? Oh my goodness. Hey, the music stopped. I get the main spot. I switched seats. I love it. I love that you can.
And I switched back.
Fair? That's not fair. My goodness.
It is totally fair. It's how it's going to work.
No,
in the middle of the show, I'm just going to move you right on out
there.
of my way. Like just right on over.
All right.
I wonder what it does to the sound, though, when we do that. It probably makes it not good. I'm just guessing. But anyway.
Who knows, right?
Hi, everybody.
Hey, how's everybody doing? We are tinkeringwithtech.net. That is our website where you can go and check out stuff about us. But hey, listen, how's everybody doing out there? I hope everyone is well. Oh, go ahead.
I love this. We don't even have to introduce our guests because they're so well known. They have their own chant. Go, Geeks, go. Ron B apparently is your favorite supporter. I didn't know there was only one. There's so many of us that vie for that spot.
He's probably the first one in, as usual, too, knowing him. So,
as usual.
Hey, without further ado, let's get those folks in here. What do you think?
Okay.
All right. Hey, listen, Chris and Jim, how are you guys?
Hey, we're doing good. How about you?
I'm great. First of all, I wanted to say thank you so much for having us on your show this past week. That was fantastic.
It was good. It was very good. Yeah.
Some great conversation. And I learned something. I learn stuff all the time from you guys, and I'm sure that's mutual. So it's exciting. It's exciting stuff, and I love this. So I'm also glad you said yes to coming on this, because this topic right here, I know there's a lot of people kind of touched on it in your show, the fear of coming on and the live streaming part of it. And oh my gosh, the anxiety and oh my, this is going to go wrong and all that kind of stuff. So we get to talk a little bit about that today, which I love that, because I think people need to know and understand that, hey, things can go wrong. It's not a television show. You know what I'm saying?
Can go wrong? No.
Things will go wrong.
Things will go wrong.
There's no doubt.
We've done 197 of our What Does This Button Show episodes, and we have found at least 200 things that have gone wrong.
Now that's funny.
It is funny. It's funny but true.
Well, because there's some things that went wrong that meant we just couldn't do the show at all. So that makes it 200.
Good point. Good point. Yeah.
So here's a thing though. There's doing video, putting yourself out there onto the web with video is one thing. Recorded, put it all together and do a nice, neat package. That's one thing. Then there's live streaming. No neat package about it sometimes, right? And then there's the added bonus of going on the road and doing it. You guys travel. You guys travel and do your live streams. So tell us about that.
All right, before we get into that.
No. That was a great segment.
Go ahead. I just want to say this. What country and where are you from? Tell us where you are.
Oh, yeah, that part I forgot. I forgot.
Yeah, since you're traveling, tell us where you are.
We're not traveling.
I know.
We're in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Yeah.
We like the rest of the world.
For this time in history, we have a house. We didn't up until 2 years ago. We were full time on the road in our RV from 2003 to 2017. Our RV was our only home.
And we did our very first, webinar, if you will. It was a remote seminar. And we did that in 2009 or 10. And that was using Skype. That was before Hangouts on air. Remember that? Skype.
So are you traveling from the living room to the office then?
That's our commute.
Yep.
That's your commute now. Okay.
Yeah, we put a lot of pretty cool now over those years. And that's how Geeks on Tour became who we are.
So we are home in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
So tell us this then, since you were traveling and both of you are geeks, I know that because I know you. Go ahead, Heather. Get your question first. No, she said she already asked. She's muted. No, you can't do it muted. You have to do it. Go ahead, Heather. Ask your question. Oh, I'm going to keep muting you. Hold on.
You're killing me, man. You're killing me. Okay. Too many production buttons.
That's right.
What was it? What was the question? Oh, the question was that you have all these issues with or these possibilities of video and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
But then you guys added the whole traveling into it. So tell us some of the, I don't know, things that have come up and those 3 other issues that you've had that made it so you didn't go live. Tell us about that.
Well, it just happens. You know, we were early adopters for all of this stuff, and we're always trying to find ways of getting connected. So, and for a while there, we had an automatic satellite dish for our internet connection, a 2-way satellite dish that traveled around with us. We had internet anywhere.
Wow.
But we didn't start doing the shows, the types of things, the webinars, until about 2009. We did a couple of things, but not much.
But yeah, the satellite dish was really cool. I mean, when we first went on the road, you're talking 2004, there wasn't even cellular. There was no cellular data.
Right.
I mean, you had cell phones and you could use an acoustic coupler on a pay phone or something.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Satellite
I'm envisioning like a string between 2 cups, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's pretty much what we had.
We
before.
paid what, $6,000 for this satellite dish installed on the roof of our RV that was automatic. And we're not talking a TV satellite dish. That's completely different.
We didn't even have TV with this satellite
We never
dish.
had TV, but this was just internet satellite dish. Inside, you had all this bank of modems inside and buttons to press that would make the satellite go up, find the satellite, log on, and then you were online, and it was magic.
Yeah, it was
we
great.
could be
and
on.
it worked smoothly every single time, right?
Oh gosh, no.
Of course.
No, there was quite a bit of jiggling. I actually became a data storm installer, and I would put those things up on other people's roofs. So I learned a lot about that. I come from the old network administrator type business.
So this was mobile though, right? The satellite was mobile. You took it with you, etc., and all that kind of stuff. That's really interesting.
It was mounted on the roof of the RV.
On the roof, and then you just adjusted it to get the right signal and match it. Okay. Oh, okay, I got you. That's cool.
Oh, there were times though.
Oh yeah, I've been
when it didn't lock on, and he'd say, "Well, drive to the left, just 5 feet."
Oh my goodness.
A clear shot to the sky.
Of course, then that puts you down in the bottom of the Grand Canyon. Then so you stop doing that, and then no, I'm just kidding. No, so out in the middle of the woods. I mean, I'm sure you were out many times, out into the middle of wherever, nowhere land.
Listen, Michael loves to go camping, so he's just envisioning this wonderful oasis of woods. He doesn't like camping. He doesn't like camping.
I don't care. But anyway, no.
We did not do any live streaming.
Yeah, there was no such thing. Yeah.
Yeah, there was no such thing. So yeah, we got into that.
Although we did do it with a satellite dish once, didn't we? At Thousand Trails out in Oregon. Wasn't that a satellite dish?
Nah, maybe, but that was not ours. That was a bigger one.
So that was stealing it from NASA. That's when they stole it from NASA.
Anyway,
so why did you get started with it? I'm real curious on that. Why even pursue this and go after this? I'm just curious.
Well, I love it.
I'm glad you did, but I'm just curious.
You mean live streaming?
Yeah, just live streaming remotely like that. Why even go that route? Knowing that there could be issues and stuff like that. Was it more of just the geek part of you, or was it just, this would be a really cool thing, or just give me
all of the above? We did a lot of our stuff in front of live audiences. We traveled around in this RV, and we would go to RV rallies, like conventions, where there would be thousands of people, and we would present our educational seminars on a lot of things. Early in the early days, it was a lot about how to get connected to the internet as you travel. And so they were very popular, and we traveled around. We had something to sell. We could sell memberships to our website, and people could get this stuff offline. But so many people wanted to bring us along with them, or to have us present to their groups.
Right.
Cool.
That was our very first remote presentation. It wasn't live streaming like we do now, but our remote presentation, we were in Tennessee, and an RV group in Washington State or something wanted us to do a presentation. We said, well, we're nowhere near there.
This week.
But if you wanted to set up one computer and call us via Skype, and with Skype, we could present to your audience. They could see us. We could share our screen, and that was the first.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Wow.
So cool.
So when was that? Because I'd love to know just how long ago that was. It wasn't very long ago, though.
I have it in my blog. I was just looking for
I'm
it.
sure you do.
2009 or 10, and that was
Yeah.
And we were on the road, and we did not have a home base at that time.
The world of the internet has changed so drastically in a few number of years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just in the short amount of time that we've been doing it, there have been several different new technologies that have been available. So
so our first was Skype.
Yeah.
Then came
Hangouts on Air? Yeah, wow. and that's where we met you guys, and a lot of other people that we started doing Hangouts on Air because we were always Googler people, and so we started following what Ronnie Benser, the Hangout helper, because I was looking for more information on how to do this stuff, and it was just a whole evolution of good communities getting together and sharing information and all the updates and new things.
That's where we met you guys in Ronnie Benser's group.
I remember being in one of the teachings that he was doing, and you guys were actually at a campground, and I can still in my mind see all the trees behind you and everything, and just going.
Yeah, it can.
And I had so many questions. How are you doing this? What are you using? How is this possible?
Well, back then we were, still kind of referred to as the experts in this, but our friends now who are the experts in getting connected and staying connected and all the newest technologies are our friends at Technomadia.
Well, RV mobile, mobileinternetinfo.com.
Yeah, they have a lot of names.
That's their personal brand.
Right.
But mobileinternetinfo.com. And we loved it when they started doing that, because that freed us up to do things like to get more
stuff
into the photos and the blogs and kind of stuff.
That's awesome. That is so awesome. So
Huey's showing his age too here.
Is that what's her name? Cherie and what's his name? Is that them or is that not them? It is them. Okay. Huh? I was asking you, Heather, if that was the couple that you had on your show.
Yes.
It is them, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Chris and Cherie. And they are crazy. They are amazing. Talk about going down a rabbit hole. They
smart. So impressed with them. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, they
So I did find a blog post. We did a show called Gabbing with the Geeks.
Really?
That was and that was in May of 2010.
Wow.
And that we just did with Skype to a
club,
an RV club that was several states away.
Wow.
And it's only grown from there. Yeah. So we've done our regular YouTube stream from different places since, recently.
Right.
That's a lot of fun.
We've done a remote class from a Walmart parking lot.
Wow.
Running a generator
and using our cell phones as our data connection.
So the things that you really need to make this stuff work is you need the internet and you need power. You need power, especially if you're going to be running anything that's more than just a cell phone and a couple of things like that. And what else do you need? You need an idea. You need to have a plan. You have to have at least a thought of what you're going to be presenting. And we've been lucky because we get a lot of questions.
Now, this
So
is
the
what.
other, go ahead. Go ahead. No, Chris, I want you to go. It's your turn to talk.
The obstacles to overcome is your title of this. Well, there's the practical obstacles of what are you going to say and how are you going to present, and then there's the technical obstacles of how you're going to do it. And I say the way over that is to have two people.
Oh, good point.
I really am. I give so much kudos to people who do it by themselves. It's really kind of different parts of the brain that can manage all the technology and pay attention to what people need to hear and what your information is that you're putting out. So I deal with the content. He deals with the production.
Yeah, that is the best way to go. I've done it so every single way you can, and I know that's the better way.
Production than anything else.
Yeah, that's true. So when you first started, you obviously did probably some research or history or try and figure out, hey, how do we do this? You had to go into it that way. Jim, since you're into the production end of it, was there, when you were doing that and going through that, did you make a lot of changes to different equipment because of that? I mean, because I've heard you say, Chris, also, this is for both of you. So Chris, I've heard you say a couple of times, we're on AT&T and we're on whatever, Verizon, and we're on this, and you're on multiple networks. So talk to us a little bit about all of that part of it. Let's get into the technical part of it. We'll come back to what to talk about after that, but.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's really cellular technology, and specifically 4G is what's been enables us to do these types of streaming from the road. Nothing before that was robust enough. And you still have to have a good connection. Sometimes we have an external antenna that goes into our hotspot. Sometimes we use our phones as hotspots. So there's a lot of different ways that you can set this up for internet. So the way we had our rig set up is we had an AT&T Nighthawk, a Netgear modem router that would be for the RV, and it gave internet to all our devices inside the RV.
Just the last couple of years.
The last couple of years when we've really been doing this stuff, not way back then. We were using our phones as hotspots or even hardwired in some cases to give us internet data, but that was always slow. So what we're talking about, I think, more is this newer stuff, this live streaming now, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no, I wanted to see how the progress or the progression of it, but yeah, go ahead, Chris, you're going to add?
I have a story on one of our early times.
Yeah.
I like to show we teaching smartphones. So I like to show my smartphone. Mm-hmm. But in the early days, our smartphone was our internet connection.
That's true.
So imagine this, if you will. I'm demonstrating something on my phone. Now, what we would do then is I would use my iPad as the camera on my phone. But then, so the audience is seeing what's on my iPad. I don't even know how we did that. But my iPad is showing, it just has its camera on and is showing my phone. And on the phone, I wanted to show people how their phone could be on either Wi-Fi or cellular. Mm-hmm. And so I would switch. Well, our internet goes away.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Our connection for his computer that is running the show, I just killed.
That's crazy.
So,
I can
so funny because
I can totally see that.
At least that time it was her fault.
It's funny because when Mr. Crafter and I were talking about doing this, one of the things, going on the road and being able to do the live streaming and all that stuff, one of the things that he said to me was, what about that couple, the ones that go camping and do RV stuff? You that couple. And it's just so funny to hear you guys talking about all this stuff that we have also done this. as well. So I really probably should have been talking to you about this for last couple of years.
Yeah, I know. We kind of missed that whole section with you.
I like that
Yeah.
question.
So Mark wants to know, when did you make your first YouTube video?
That was 2009.
Yeah, YouTube now, but I was making videos
Before that.
in the 90s.
So so that's a question I had, was how do you do production of your videos and things when you're on the road? It's one thing to live stream, and I know that's what the topic of our show, but not everybody wants to live stream. So that's obviously got its own issues. But if you were to do videos as well while you're on the road, and production of those videos can be cumbersome as well with uploads and power and so on. So I'd love to hear that.
Yeah.
She's the video lady. She does all of that.
Yeah.
Jim's like
the tool that she uses.
Yeah, I use 𝐞𝐚𝐬𝐽, no different in the RV than now. Most people who RV aren't as insistent on having office space as we were. So in our first RV, which was 30, it was around relatively small, 30-foot, no slides. We took out the couch and configured a desk and a bench for me. We took out half of the dinette and configured a desk and a keyboard drawer and all that stuff for him. And I had a big microphone. You know, it was actually quite nice because that little corner was just all set up. And in those days, I didn't need to have a separate camera because there wasn't smartphones.
Yeah, that's true.
Smartphones.
Yeah, that's true. Wow.
I feel so old. So it was.
Well, especially when you say in those days, that doesn't help. It was only like 2 years ago or 3 years ago.
More like 10 or 11.
So
yeah, okay, it was 10 years ago.
We were teaching Picasso, and that was just on a computer screen. So 𝐶𝐚𝐬𝐽 and a computer is all I needed for that. And a microphone, a headset and a microphone. So it's gotten a lot more complicated when you have to add smartphone teaching into it.
Yeah, I bet that makes a big difference. So that's interesting. So you have to have a very decent data plan, I would say too, right? I mean, you're streaming all of this up to the cloud, et cetera, and all that kind of stuff. Like she said, video production as well as streaming, all of that takes some oomph.
Yeah, on the road.
So that's pretty important, right?
On the road, you have to have a good cellular connection. And for most of the years that we were out there and cellular was evolving and still is, Verizon had the very best overall nationwide coverage. And then AT&T was second. And then there were some others, Sprint and T-Mobile. And so most people could get by with one. If you really needed the internet, you needed at least two. And so we had a couple as we traveled, and we would sometimes use one for one thing and another for the other. And we'd have different connections.
But unless you've been doing this for, traveling and needing cellular as your main business data connection, you may not remember that the first data plans that came out from Verizon, I think from mostly all of them, were unlimited. There was no concept of limited.
Oh, right. Yeah.
With our first Verizon phones, we had a truly unlimited,
and they didn't throttle it.
And for was it just $50 a month?
Something like that.
Truly unlimited for $50. So we never even really had to be concerned at all.
So now the real question is, do you still have that? Are you grandfathered in?
That plan alive.
Jealousy.
For many, many years after it had
expired.
After it was dead by Verizon.
Right.
Yeah.
It was called a grandfathered.
Yeah.
But
unlimited data plan.
2 years. I think we let it go 2 years ago.
We let it go a little while after we got the newest little, we downsized to a van camper. Now we have a Road Trek. It's 21-foot van camper.
I love that Road Trek. It's cute.
Oh,
It's super cute.
We can go a lot farther, a lot faster, and we have 3 studios right in that little van.
Wow,
it's insane. You can be in the back and in the middle and in the front, right? Like that's how you have it.
Yeah,
in a van.
Clip lights up and throw the camera up, and we're online. It's cool.
That's so awesome.
Stinking cute.
Yeah, we have a bunch of pictures. I didn't think to prepare for that.
Nah, it's okay. No worries. I mean, I wanted to just come on and have a chat, not, just let people know, because I know there's people out there that really love to know about this stuff. I have some buddies of mine that wanted to do some live streaming from they were going on a trip. I mean, somewhere out, I don't even know where it was, but it was out doing something. What is that? When doing it alone, you can miss people in the waiting room while presenting. I have people stranded in the waiting room once I started. Now I try to have a second person to watch the waiting room. Yeah, exactly. It's so true on that. I'd love to see your setup. Tiger Doug says, yeah, that's a cool one. I'm sure. If you ever go to their Geeks on Tour, I'm sure you have photos over there. I'm sure you do.
Yeah, videos up there. That
you probably have videos or blogs and everything else about that. And it's really, really cool to see some of that stuff. Some of those setups are just great. So just remember geeksontour.com. I'll put it up on screen, but they have some really cool stuff for the public and the behind the scenes stuff that we get to see as a member. There you go. There you go. I'm a member as well. So
yeah, on the menu, if you go to geeksontour.com, on the main menu, there is at the very right hand side, there's a more and then an about the geeks. That's where you'll find the photo stuff.
I'll do a quick screen share so everybody can kind of see it. How's that? I'll just do this. There you go. So right here, you're saying somewhere up here,
more, all the way at the end, more.
More.
And then about the geeks.
There you go. About the geeks. There we go.
And
you saw me do it live, so now you know how to do it out there.
So that was our first RV there.
Wow.
And that was my studio in the second RV. In the second RV, we had custom furniture built for the middle area of the RV. That was both our dining room and my office. And that's where I did all the.
And sometimes at the same time, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. In fact, that one's a little video that shows exactly how my office was set up.
That's so awesome. That's so awesome. Here, I'll just play it. We don't turn the sound on, but I'm just going to kind of. Look at there. Look at that.
Yep. I was home for 6 years.
So did you ever have like the RV actually break down?
Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah.
Part of it.
You don't own an RV and it not break down.
It's like a boat, they always, there's always something going on.
Right. That's right.
We've actually getting rid of the last one, not before we got this other new one. We were stranded in Arizona. In 𝐤𝐸𝐴𝐸, Arizona. Now, if anybody out there is a fan of the Cars animated features, Disney Cars, that is Radiator Springs.
𝐤𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐸,
Arizona is Radiator Springs. And we had a blown radiator and we got towed into 𝐤𝐸𝐴𝐸. And it was Easter. It was Easter weekend, Easter Thursday. So they were able to order some parts, but we were stuck. We couldn't go anywhere. Well, we could. We were towing that car. We made reservations to get the train from Williams up to the Grand Canyon. We got reservations in the El Tovar Lodge right next to the south rim of the Grand Canyon in the park and all that kind of stuff.
So we made lemonade out of lemons.
So
I love it
all the time in RVing.
You break down and you make lemonade. It's really pretty cool.
But even then we definitely took our smartphones with us, of course, and we live streamed from the edge of the Grand Canyon just using our phones and the YouTube app.
So Easter morning.
Well, that was recent. That was recent then.
That was
in the last couple years.
That was 3 years ago. Yeah, that was Easter. Easter Sunday,
2017.
Sunrise in the Grand
Huey
Canyon.
wants to know if your vehicle glows at night because his bedroom where his computer is looks like an airport runway.
Well, it's funny that you say that. The brand that we used for our satellite dish, it had a blue light in it, and that it was kind of a gimmick, but it was Motosat was the name of the company, and they were known for these blue lights. They had them on their TV dishes too. So when you were coming home from one of the RV lodge things going on, you always knew where you're
Go to the blue light.
You always knew where you're
The blue light of the satellite dish.
And they used to have rallies themselves, the data storm rallies. So there would be like, 40, 50
That's
of these
awesome.
rigs with blue lights.
With blue lights? Oh my gosh.
So lost.
I couldn't find our RV for nothing.
Needed some other distinguishing color possibly or something so you could determine what was yours.
That's too funny.
Had to have blue light. Otherwise it wasn't real. What else?
I'll tell one other story.
Go ahead.
Yeah, let's hear a story.
So for many years there, it was just our Verizon phones that provided internet for everything we did. And we were doing our live What Does This Button Do YouTube show. So when we pulled into a campground, we would go to one site and I would do a speed test on the, you can't just go by the bars, it might have 5 bars and have lousy speed. It might have 2 bars and have good speed. So we would pull to an RV site and I would do a speed test and I'd say, let's see if we can find a better site. We'd go to the other side of the campground. And I remember this one in Hershey, Pennsylvania. And we were, within a couple hours of needing to do our live show.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get any speed at all. There was just nothing. We finally found one that only had two bars. I mean, that
up on a hill it was,
but it was still only 2 bars,
right.
And it was
the
only
best you could get.
It was only like 2 megabits per second in speed, and yet we did our show just fine. I mean, you'd have to just try it and see so many times.
Wow.
So
that's a great point. That's an excellent point, because sometimes, I mean, I've been in that same situation. I've been in the park. I have a, what am I trying to say? A gimbal for my cell phone. So I'm out there in the park doing that, and in the middle of nowhere, no Wi-Fi or anything like that, but I'm in the middle of a park doing the exact same thing, thinking, well, this probably isn't going to be that great. And it actually turned out to be fairly decent. It wasn't bad. And I was like, wow, I just didn't think going into it, like you said, with just 2 bars or whatever, I'm thinking this is going to be absolutely horrible probably, but ended up being pretty decent. There's a few choppy parts, but it was good. What were you going to say?
And then just the opposite. At other times, we will have been in an RV park all week. We've had screaming fast data connections, no problem. We go to do our show and so
you don't know.
That's how it goes.
I think
we like to live stream, especially, Chris likes to live stream because it gives her a deadline to make sure that she gets something done. That's her.
The like was in quotes. You like to do it, right? Like to do it.
No, but I think it is. I think I said this on your show because we were on your show and I said the same thing. I think it's important to live stream. First of all, get you comfortable. You don't necessarily have to go live at first. You can make it unlisted. You know what I'm saying? You can do something like that, but then eventually go live. Just go live because everybody has something to give out there a little bit.
You can go public.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're live no matter what. Go public with the live as well.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. There you go.
Huey has this question about being concerned about security when you do a side trip with your towed vehicle. You have all that equipment. Are you worried about any of it going away? Have you guys ever had any problems like that? I hear this in the RV community all the time, so I'm anxious to hear.
Security-wise?
We've never had an issue in our 14 years full-time online traveling around the country, but we do know it does happen, and we know people who actually have been, you know, burglarized and lost things, and there's a couple of different things out there, but we did not worry about it too much. Yeah, we had the equipment, we had a sign on the back, we were advertising that we were geeks, you know. And
right, I've wondered about that. I wondered if you guys had a sign on your vehicles. Yeah. Wow.
The first RV had a plaque. I mean, had a sticker. I mean, it was a permanent Geeks on Tour.
It was there
in the back. The second RV had a window in the back, so that was great. We had a sign made, and we could take it down if we didn't want to be.
Yeah, that's the first
advertising.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Yeah.
It had a decal on the back there, and that was pretty big.
But no,
We've
just never had a problem.
No,
we often don't even lock it. I don't.
So now everybody knows if we ever see you on the road opening that door.
So that first RV had the decal on the back. We were absolutely recognizable. The second RV had a sign most of the time, but it was still a unique kind of an RV.
We were very recognizable.
We were still recognizable if anybody knew. It's really different with this little road trek. We pass two of us every day we're on the road. You know, it's just there's a lot of them, and we all look alike. Nice. It is kind of nice being incognito.
Semi-incognito, yeah. It's also nice to be recognized. We were in a where were we, in Illinois? Where those people, we did a show in a campground, and
Lincoln. Yeah, in Springfield, Illinois.
Home of Lincoln.
We did one of our live streaming shows from that was a
campground.
Not really
fairgrounds.
It was a fairgrounds in Springfield, Illinois, and we did our live show. And afterwards, there's a knock on our door, and so
someone was so bold as to knock on your door.
Oh yeah. They live in Springfield. They were members, you know, cool, and they recognized where we were, or we said it during the show.
The live show.
They were watching the show, and they came over and said, "Yeah, it was cool."
Now that's cool.
Yeah,
I've been in campgrounds where I've seen people that I follow on Instagram or something, and I see on their RV that they're in that campground. I will mention on Instagram in a private DM, "Hey, we're in site number 67." I would never go knock on the door.
Well, a lot of YouTube stars would appreciate that.
We're not that famous.
No,
but we also might say, you know, hey, if you're in the area, you know, we'll say where we are in almost every show that we do. We say, you know, hey, where are we? And she puts up a little map.
That's one of the things I do right here.
And if you're in the area, stop by and pay us a visit. So they were invited, sort of, kind of. So.
I gotcha. Well, and they're members of your private community anyway, so it's kind of a little different. Yeah.
Yeah, we had clothes on. It was okay.
Love it. Oh my gosh, you guys are the
best. Anyway.
That's always better to do your shows with your clothes on, I imagine.
It's a whole different show. That is a whole overcoming the obstacles is a whole different conversation then.
Incognito mode only. All right.
I think this has been a great conversation. And of course, like always, we have our backstage pass with these two that we would love to have you community members with us. And if you're not yet a community member, you can join by going to tinkeringwithtech.net. And it's $10 a month, and you get to hang out with our guests from our shows, but you also get to do things like tips every day.
Yeah,
What else,
daily
Michael?
All kinds of great things. Yeah, we're members.
You guys are members. There you go.
Yeah.
Daily tips, monthly workshops, expert help, all kinds of stuff. It's so much fun. Sometimes after the daily tips, we'll sit there for hours just sitting there talking about some other things and issues. But I do want to say, to promote you guys a little bit, because I know, Chris, you just wrote a photos book and everything, and you have that. Look at there. Learn Google Photos. How about that? Look at that. That's so awesome.
Now, is that book live now? Like we can go get it now? No, not yet. It's in revision.
Is it not for resale? So
Okay.
This is our proof copies.
And I've been proofing it all day.
And then
That is so exciting right there, you guys. This is the coolest thing ever. I actually have a copy of the first edition, right? That's what you gave me?
I think that was the second edition, yeah.
Oh, the second.
So this is actually the third, but I've changed the name of it. It is now Learn Google Photos rather than Mrs. Geeks Guide. So it's just to be a little bit more mainstream with it.
That's good.
And our show on Sunday, this coming Sunday, will be our book launch.
with specials and all kinds of stuff.
So we're doing a spiral bound, because spiral bound is just so much nicer to be able to lay
perfect for learning. Yes,
for learning.
Perfect for learning.
Amazon does not do spiral binding, so
It is
we have to do quite a bit more work and go to more expense. So a spiral bound is going to cost a lot more, but not this Sunday. It won't. So
there you go.
That's my little sales pitch.
There you go. And right here, this is the Geeks on Tour YouTube channel. We already showed the website earlier, but here's the YouTube channel, and you'll be on there. That's where you go live from, right? YouTube.
Right. Yep.
So there you
and
go.
then
So
anybody can watch that. They don't have to be members of your site in order to watch your book launch, right?
Correct.
Right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
please.
All of our shows, all of our What Does This Button Do shows, we call them the button shows. We've done 197 episodes. This will be 198 coming up this Sunday at 2 Eastern. And they're all free, available to anyone. But members, our premium members, get some added benefits. Chris writes up extensive show notes with timestamps and everything else that are just great for members only. And then we have a backstage pass, just like the one Michael does.
Oh, just one. If anybody out there is learning to live stream, I think you got the idea here. There are more obstacles than there are ways of getting around them. The main way of getting around the obstacles is to join a community where you continue to learn. And
tinkering with tech is one
Michael's
of the best going.
Is how we keep up.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. It's very kind of you to say. That's back and forth for sure. I mean, you guys, it's so much fun though, because you guys, what's nice about it is by having a community like that, that's involved like we do, we help each other out. It's not just me. It's more of the community environment as opposed to, there you go. Congratulations with the book. Absolutely. That's so cool. That's awesome.
And the best part about our community is the help too. Beyond the help is the people out there who are also willing to help, not just the 4 people you see on screen right now.
So easier to work out a problem or an issue if you got more than one person.
Yeah.
And that's what's so cool too, is we'll get into some of the conversations. I love it in our group. You guys have the same thing in your groups a lot of times too. I think I really do. I feel like you guys are, even though, Chris, you're the expert when it comes to Google Photos and stuff, but people bring up something. Hey, I have this on this particular phone and this does this. And you're like, oh yeah, it is different on this particular one. And that's the kind of stuff that I love. It brings up conversation, because there's not just one way of doing stuff with all the different platforms and things like that. So it does make it interesting and fun. There you go. And he says, and we reap the benefits. I love it.
There we go.
Yep. Spiral Bound books too. Absolutely. Great to hear and see you again live. There you go. Congrats for the book too. Absolutely. I think it's so awesome. Thank you for coming on. I really do appreciate you guys coming on, because I love having you on. First of all, I know most of the time that you're on doing the Google Photos, but I really think that this is this is really important, because when we do all get ready to go out and go do this stuff, people are running a live stream. They're going to want to do that, and they can do it from their phones. They can do it from their, just their devices and things like that. And I think it's important.
They can do it from their van.
Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, maybe we'll have you on in October, because I think you're going to be doing something in October, right?
We are actually going to get the van on the road for a few days in October for a road trek rally, a small rally where we can stay socially distant.
Good.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Cannot wait. Cannot wait.
And we may
I like what Mike says.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
Right.
All right, gang.
Interactive conversations are the best, and that's what we're having here, and that's the best. So, yeah.
Community members, we are going to go into the backstage pass at this time. Thank you, everybody that's watching. If you're rewatching this or have a question, be sure to leave it in the comments. I'll get the comment, pass it along to these guys if they have any answers, or if we can help you, we'll do that. Thank you so much for being guest on. We really do appreciate it. It means a lot. It really does.
I will miss you, Andrew.
Where's Andy going? Oh, you're not going to be able to make it in? I got you.
All right.
All right.
Guys.
See you, gang. Thank you, guys. All righty.